All right, welcome to today's show. A little weekly update of the Mor Acro world news. If this is your first time here, we talk about things going on in Morocco, USA, the world abroad, and I know one of you is watching right now, so we started just for you. Go ahead and drop a hello. Today, first up in the title, I believe, was French Bastille Day. First time hearing about this news was in a comment on Facebook. A friend, yogi, DJ, Thai massage therapist dude who I knew from Morocco, we actually met in Tamrat. He posted something about, hey, you're still safe to come here to Guatemala. The hippies always spend a lot of time in Central America, warm places. And I was wondering what was going on in France that would cause him to say that. Welcome, F. Aracha. So this morning, I started reading about what exactly the French leader Macron's plan was, and he said by September people would need to be vaccinated in order to keep their jobs as healthcare workers. I get that. If you're working in healthcare, it's probably good to believe in the healthcare and get your vaccinations and keep everyone that's coming to you to stay safe to be safe. But there's also more restrictions for people to go to cinemas, swimming pools, restaurants, bars, that they needed to have their COVID vaccination or proof of recovery, I believe proof of recovery, and also, or not also, a PCR test, which they have to pay for out of their pocket. Coming October, you have to start paying for your PCR tests here. So this was a pretty shocking announcement, I would say. The people went to the streets, they lit a bulldozer on fire, not quite a bulldozer, but some construction equipment. It coincided with Bastille Day, which is the anniversary of the storming of a French dungeon and the start of the French Revolution. So here was some big news. It's good to see people just not accepting this blindly, but saying, hey, wait a minute. There's some issues here. It's funny because someone in Slovenia, we had dinner with some of Andrea's friends the other night. He's saying France is the most communist country in Europe. He had a few beers, but he's saying France is the most communist country. I'm like, why? What makes you say that? And I guess it's a matter of control if you equate communism with control. So then it led me to do some research and see what vaccination rates were actually across the planet. And I believe Malta is leading, or no, there's actually some places with near 100%, but they're smaller countries. The Seychelles Island, I don't know if I'm saying that, and Mauritius, another island in Africa, are leading Africa in terms of vaccination rates. And third in per capita vaccination rates is actually Morocco. The other country is very small. Morocco's got much more work to deal with there. So well done, Morocco, in helping keep this pandemic under control. I know some people think it's a plandemic, and the main aim is to control the population. I see that as well. If you've been following the channel, I got my Johnson & Johnson vaccine back in May. I experienced some side effects from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Thankfully, not those new ones that they're discovering with your nervous system attacking itself. I just had a high fever, some shakes. Also, Johnson & Johnson in the news, they recalled a sunscreen. That's not a good sign. If you're recalling sunscreen, you're also making vaccines. Not a vote of confidence. But here we go. We keep going. USA vaccination rates have stagnated. Biden had a goal of 70% by the 4th of July. That was not reached. Another country leading in the world is United Arab Emirates. I was surprised to see this. I don't know why I was surprised. It was just, it was surprising to me that I don't know much about the country. I don't know the population. It could be smaller than expected, but to see somewhere I would expect. I had heard Israel was doing really well. Andrea said that just because everyone just follows the rules and does what they're told. They all join the military at 18. So good for them, people staying safe. I guess that's what this is all about. They say the Delta variant is coming around again and making little hot pockets heat pockets in the USA in different states. So stay safe for now. I saw Morocco, their case count was increasing again. But as these case counts increase, so does the testing. It always goes with that. But the percentage coming back as positive was also increasing. So stay safe for now. Hope the beaches stay open. We know you could socially distance and enjoy the beach safely. There's always these mix of controls and regulations. We're a year and a half into this at this point, and we're still deep in it. You know, the World Health Organization is warning of a third wave, and we see that in Slovenia. Cases are increasing here. Good morning, Hamodi and Tangiers. And they're also trying to get the vaccination rates here. In the USA, the vaccination rates are low among 18 to 35-year-olds, and this is because I think we as millennials think we're going to be safe if we catch it. We feel we're healthy. Many of us probably aren't overweight or elderly. None of us are elderly, clearly. So I think there's a lag in this. There's a different attitude, I feel like, in the USA versus my French cohort. Clement, you might have remembered him. He bought the faulty jalaba. He was all ready for the vaccine, and he said a lot of his friends were in that same boat. Block on the Rock says, get ready for the fall lock/meltdown. Block on the Rock, I read this morning that Gibraltar has 99% vaccination rate. Is this true? Have you received your vaccine? Maybe your wife as well. Block is on the rock over there, the Rock of Gibraltar. I think it's easier to control these smaller populations, to trace things. Australia is going into lockdown again. They were on a super lockdown this whole time, and since the start they closed their borders, but they're still having these closures in Sydney the past week, and also Victoria, and there's outbreaks in Queensland as well. It was funny to see the championship, the Euro Championship, Italy and Britain, United Kingdom. I watched it and went down to the very end. Hello, peasants, says Briscoe. I'm in Cougar. Good morning. Just wanted to give you guys a little live stream here. Thank you for all the regulars for joining here. Try and do like something once a week here. But I was surprised to see that the whole crowd wasn't wearing masks or anything, so regulations, I guess, were out the window for that one. It's a mixed up world here. I love seeing all the regular faces here. Booty is here, Abel's here, Sarah, Yeyas, Omar, Amin, thank you all for joining. Hey Dexter, what's up? Andrea's inside doing some yoga. I'm in the outside garden area enjoying a little rocker here. I've been spending a lot of time here. The neighbors got some kittens, and I've been trying to lure them in, but they're not like Moroccan street cats or kittens. They're frightened. They just run away. I don't know what kind of trauma these cat breeds went through over the years here, but they're a different breed than Moroccan street cats. Moroccan street cats come and just sit on your lap. They're very friendly. They always want to rub up against you. These cats, I can't even look at them. They look at them from across the yard and they run away. Yeah, everyone's keeping well here. Jim asks, is Andrea keeping well, especially in the morning? Yes, she's been waking up before me, actually, having some insomnia, but she's doing all right. You know, she had a doctor's appointment scheduled for Monday. She messaged them to confirm, and they said, oh, doctor's out of office. So I don't know why they scheduled that. Briscoe says, in news, Mor Acro project is picking up steam. Would Andrea be interested in joining? Not sure if the project can take off without her. Yeah, same with the Mor Acro project. Couldn't happen without Andrea, so we're grateful for her being here. Someone says it's 10 a.m. here, I believe, in Morocco, and it is 11:15 a.m. here in Slovenia. Finally, we've had some relief from the heat. We weren't getting heat like Morocco heat. I know is getting up to 40, 45, but here is in the 30s and it's feeling hot. Finally, it's cool, so it's good to enjoy that. I don't want to stay on too long today. We're already at 10 minutes. That went by really fast. Hopefully for you too as a viewer. I want to talk about the USA. I read that they did a new study, and rent is unreachable for anyone on minimum wage, even those above minimum wage. They need like 3 times the salary. You know, $22, I think, is what they were saying in order to afford rent for a 2-bedroom. I don't know why someone would need a 2-bedroom. I guess if you're raising a family on minimum wage, that's near impossible. Another little side note, they did a new tax credit for children as well in the U.S., and this was always something that was fought against. I know a lot of countries do pay, welcome Latifah, for having children, the UK, Europe, of course, but yeah, so something new from there. In America, my wage was never that high. You know, I started my first job, I think, making like $16.50 out of college. That was per hour, so I had to live with my parents for a little bit in order to save up enough money to buy a house. That never happened, or to find a roommate to move out with, because you can't afford a place on your own in the USA. It's just too expensive. They said in California, rental market, 45% of people rent in California. Starting apartment was like $1,400, so that's a bit too much. Black on the Rock forecasts inflation for a while, followed by deflation, is what's going to be going on in the fall. We'll see. The inflation's definitely been happening. Minimum wage federally hasn't raised since 2009 in the USA. I think it's at $7.75. And now things have just been getting more and more expensive, especially with COVID in the past year. So we'll see what that bears for the U.S. economy. There's obviously a lot of changes that need to go on there, and I don't know. I'm in Slovenia now. We made our choice to be here. I made my choice to be out of the USA a while ago, and we'll see how that fares. Always a lot of crazy things going on. Another news from Chicago is the mayor is finally accepting help from the feds. Trump wanted to send the federal aid in there years ago for controlling the crime, the shootings that have been happening there. And she said no, and people view that as a political move, saying, no, we don't want to accept help from Trump. But now Biden's in office, and she's like, oh, yeah, I guess things are pretty bad. She doesn't always acknowledge that. The mayor, Lori Lightfoot, she's a special one. I also saw some news from Chicago that the gang members potentially outnumber the police at 10-1. They're definitely outnumbering them. I don't know if it's as much as 10-1. Retirements are at a high. They've already had more people retire this year than in 2018, 2019. It's harder to get people for these jobs there because it's dangerous, and the people really don't like the police these days. Another news tying in with the police, George Floyd Memorial, I think in Ohio. Some claim it was destroyed by lightning in a storm the other night. Others suspect vandalism. Who knows? Someone said they saw the building get struck by lightning. It was an old bar that a mural had put up, and the artist plans to put up that mural again, or some sort of variation of it. So, active nature, active people, we don't know. Another U.S. Morocco news. Some guy in the Department of State, Ned Price, is going into Moroccan affairs right now. There's a journalist, I don't want to say his name, because Saliman, someone knows it, I'm sure, but he was arrested in May 2020, and people are questioning why he was arrested. It was for sexual harassment with another male, and this is, of course, illegal in Morocco, and now he's been sentenced to 5 years in prison. The critics are going to say it's a matter of sentencing or quieting journalism. He was dissent. He criticized the government, and others are just saying it's the law. You know, listen to the victim's story. It's up to what people view that as. You know, if people see it as, oh, people are always trying to quiet the journalists, then yeah, that's it. Or if people are going to say, yeah, you got to believe the victim and follow the law and the judiciary, then that's going to be the case. But he was under fire for saying or assuming that it was just a matter of journalism censorship. Let's see what's going on. Thank you, Mehdi. I'm glad Khalid's in here too. Someone says, why you love Morocco? And I'm going to say it's the food and the people. Of course, the weather as well. It's just a different vibe. The people are friendly. Things are slower there. You can have a good life with very little. You could eat good fruits and vegetables. You have this community, this culture, this aliveness in the people, this music, this art, the colors, the diversity in landscape, as well as the language. Everyone's speaking different languages. And I really love that about Morocco. I miss that dearly. Of course, also personally, the surf is going to call me there, the ocean, and I miss that, you know, being able to walk to the corner store, getting whatever fruit or herbs you need, and that's just, you can't beat that. Yeah. I have not been to City Kabuki, Block on the Rock S. I've never heard of it. And yeah, Morocco is a pretty developed country. Of course, there's places that are changing, but I think people would be surprised when they go there. Melvin's a big fan of Morocco developing. Yeah, City Kalki. I know that place, Block on the Rock. It's just south of Essaouira. I did not get to visit it. So yeah, most welcome to your second home. Right now, I'm sitting in the reality. I've come to accept it that we're in Slovenia for a little bit. You know, we're having the baby next month. Super exciting. But with Corona and the baby, we can't. I'm not even looking at plane tickets. You know, in all realism. Winter's coming. It's cooler air today, and it feels good. I say, careful what you wish for. But we're hoping for winter in Morocco to be back there. Abdullah says Kabuki. I've never heard of Kabuki, but that's interesting. What else do I have in the title right now? I think we've hit all our things. Oh, Slovenian news. They passed a water referendum recently. The government had aimed to make more developments by the water, and the people, through petition first, they had to get a bunch of signatures, and then a vote on a referendum voted to repeal this act. There's still a lot of criticism of the government here. The same thing here, quieting of media, quieting of journalism. So there's a lot of critique of Janez Janša, the Prime Minister of Slovenia right now. What else is going on in Slovenia? Cases are increasing. Delta variant is here. They just changed their border policy, letting less people in. And the illegal migration was down to Slovenia in the past 6 months, I guess. They're looking at it as down a third from the previous year. They blame COVID for some of that. The most common illegal immigrants here in Slovenia are Pakistani and Afghani. There's also some Moroccans mentioned in the news, but as Andrea explains it, people don't want to stay in Slovenia. They're just passing through to get to Germany or Austria. And I get it. Why would you want to immigrate to a country where there's no jobs? I mean, that's not the place you want to go to. Yeah, hey, Bella, I'm super excited. I've adjusted a lot better to Slovenian life here. It took some time, but I think I'm in a much better place. I know a lot of you said I wasn't smiling in other videos. My energy wasn't the same. And it's true, you know, we're going through adjustments and changes every day. So I'm happy to be here now, and we're looking forward to the future. Any last questions? We got a minute left here. I'm going to go for a little 20-minute live stream. You know, if we're on a 30-minute news block on TV, we'd have 22 minutes with commercials. Yeah, it's good to work from anywhere online, but a lot of times I don't think that's the case with illegal immigrants. A lot of times they're looking for jobs in person with their skills. You know, I think that's what makes for great immigration and integration, is when people go places where their skills are needed, and that they're not, this is the American mentality, taking jobs from other people. You know, I know Australia is hard to immigrate to unless you have skills. They have all these needs because they have quite a small population for such a large country, so they need people in those things. And yeah, you got to go where your niche is. You know, every bird's got a different beak, and that brings it to a different flower to pollinate, a different seed to crack, and that's life. So thank you for tuning into Mor Acro World News today, and I think I hit all my main points. Thank you all for joining. It's good to see everyone regularly on here, and we'll see you next time. Oh, trying to sign out, not signing out.